What's going on, people? How you doing? TK coming at you. Today I just wanted to hit you with a simple concept of greatness and how do we separate greatness from mediocrity. Greatness seems to be some sort of anomaly that really doesn't hit more than 1% of the population. It propagates the idea that the population needs to be controlled and the status quo needs to be protected so that it's not interrupted. I think about a lot of different things in terms of how technology is controlled and released to the public when it's beneficial for the status quo, because disruption is not something that people welcome. Cell phone technology existed in Vietnam but didn't get released to the public until 1980. Medical beds featured in Asylum and Star Trek exist today, but it may be years before we see it in the mainstream. So everything has a controlled release, or everything exists within a controlled box. And people are comfortable being controlled because it means no responsibility. And I think the average person is okay with just getting by with whatever they can take from someone else. So our focus in our daily lives has nothing to do with becoming a better human being or increasing your consciousness or expanding your horizon. The daily focus is accumulation of things and access to things. So everything that you do is based on your reward or punishment. And then you exist within a control mechanism of fear because your primary concern is what you can get away with or what has no repercussions or limited repercussions. So it's sort of a selfish cycle of in the box thinking, you know, and it doesn't really extend beyond very many people because the out of the box way of exploring thought, consciousness, or even expansion is not what the average person is concerned with. So what does all of that mean and how is it relevant to you? I'm just saying that in terms of doing something smart or thinking about what legacy you leave behind, thinking about what you influence when it comes to other people. You know, if you live your life for yourself and everything that you do is motivated by what you can take, you're not concerned with your legacy. You're not concerned with making smart decisions or estate planning or long-term 5-year outlook or anything that is positive towards gain. You know, your focus isn't on that, i.e. your decisions probably won't lead to that. So I don't consider myself great. I make a lot of mistakes, but I strive to get it right because I'm still alive. And a new day means a new opportunity, which means that if you're trying, you have a chance greater than the average person to at least get it right. But the degree of what's right is defined differently in every human being. I mean, if you have a conversation with some random stranger on the street, their idea of what is right or what should be achieved is going to be different from yours. So legacy, doing things that create strength, setting yourself apart from just being controlled average, those are things that very few of us achieve. And I think about greatness. I mean, I have a son. I think about what example I set for my son. I think about what I can teach him what information I can pass on to him, what tools I can impart that gives him a leg up. But these are things that are on the forefront of my thought process, which means I have to get it right so that I can at least inspire my son to get it right and be a better human being, achieve and accomplish everything that I haven't. These are the things that, you know, our society doesn't really teach. And when you look at Common Play, or you look at what is propagated by most people, it has nothing to do with setting yourself apart. It has nothing to do with distinguished behavior or decision making. So we're in a world where these things aren't important to too many people, and your primary concern is what you can just get by with. You know, a lot of people say, well, it is this way, that's just what we have to accept. And I think your decisions and what you accept is what creates the reality that you live in. You know, a life of misery or a life of abundance, everything is based on your perception, what you vibrate or what you think about and what you put out there. So it's interesting to me that very few people break out of the control mechanisms of mediocrity and do something smart that sets up a better tomorrow. Do something financially that puts you in a better place. I mean, I think about these things and I strive to accomplish them for myself, for my future, for my son. And that doesn't mean I'm gonna get it right. It just means that it's on the front of my mind. It means that it's something that is important to me. So think about what's important to you. Try to set something in place. Think about what your legacy is. You know, what will you leave behind to your children? Is that something important to you? Do you even care about what you impart or your circle of influence in terms of the people closest to you? I don't claim to know everything or even claim to know any damn thing. What I'm saying is that if it's on the front of your mind, you're a step ahead of people who are living for today and coming from the selfish standpoint of what they can take from others.